Hi, welcome to Cooking with Ann. I am from the Olive Scene. Glad you joined us. And on Facebook, as always, Becky is here doing the filming. If you have any questions, she can let me know what they are. So just type them in. Or later on, if the show is done, we can always answer you again by messaging. So today we are going to highlight our flavor of the month, which is cilantro and roasted onion infused olive oil. So the base of this is a beautiful ultra premium extra virgin olive oil. It has been infused with an essential oil that is cilantro and roasted onion. This is a big, huge flavor. So I'm going to go easy on that in the hummus. The recipe, which is posted, does call for 2 tablespoons of the cilantro and roasted onion and 2 tablespoons of our garlic infused oil. If you are a really big cilantro lover, you can do all of the cilantro and roasted onion olive oil, but I'm going to do half and half. In fact, instead of the garlic, because I didn't really want to have a garlicky hummus this time, I'm going to use our brand new Madagascar black pepper oil. This has a wonderful flavor of black pepper infused in the oil without a lot of heat. So it's really nice. It's subtle. It'll go together beautifully. I'm really looking forward to it. The other product that we're going to use is our Sicilian lemon white balsamic vinegar. So the white balsamic vinegars are a little more snappy and crisp, a little more acidic than the dark balsamic vinegars. I'm using this in place of lemon juice. You can also use lemon juice. It will be a lot more acidic and tartar. So this is a really nice, it gives it that little sweetness which counters one other product that I don't want you to skip. And that is the cumin, ground cumin. I know a lot of people that don't like ground cumin, and if you use too much of it, it is overpowering. But this ground cumin is only 1/4 teaspoon, and it kind of goes with the Sicilian lemon, olive oil, and the tahini to just bring a great, big, beautiful flavor to the hummus. So don't skip that. If you don't have any, go get some. You can substitute red pepper flakes if you want it to be a little hotter, but like I said, the cumin just really does a nice job for the hummus. So we're going to start with 1 can, and that's that soup-sized can, about 14 ounces of chickpeas. This is right out of the can. I did drain it, and I did rinse it really gently until there was no more bubbles. And that kind of takes out a little bit of the bitterness that can happen when you have a canned bean. You can also make these from scratch if you like making beans from scratch. And that is, you boil them, you soak them the night before, and then boil them a little bit. So it's going into my food processor. If you are using a Vitamix or a blender, put all of the wet ingredients in first, and here's why. The food processor tosses everything to the sides, and it comes down to the bottom. So the heavier things, the liquid, will come down and incorporate in. When you use a blender or a Vitamix, and this is for anything that you do with a blender and a Vitamix, the liquid should go on the bottom. If you put the chickpeas or garbanzo beans on the bottom, as it churns, it will get really gummed up. It could even bind up your blender or your Vitamix. So you want the liquid on the bottom so it can churn and make everything nice and smooth. So garbanzo beans are in there. We're going to put the cumin and the salt in with it. I have the 4 tablespoons of oil. So this is 2 tablespoons of the cilantro and roasted onion and 2 tablespoons of the black pepper oil. And that's going in. This is such a quick and easy recipe. You should always make your own hummus. It's so easy. The next thing that is going in is the Sicilian lemon, balsamic vinegar, and that was 3 tablespoons. I'm also putting in 1/4 cup of water. This is really going to smooth out the hummus. And the texture of homemade hummus is different than commercial hummus. It's very smooth and velvety, and that water does help with that. The last thing, which I didn't bring over, I was measuring it.
Dee says hello, and thanks for the Vitamix instructions. And then we're being asked, can you use a hand mixer?
A hand mixer is going to be tough. Stick with it because it's not, you're still going to have little pieces and chunks of the garbanzo beans. It'd probably be the difference between like a soft, chunky peanut butter as opposed to a smooth peanut butter. but you can get it pretty fine, and that kind of graininess can be a nice textural thing. So yes, you can use a blender. It's just going to be a little tougher to get it this super smooth that we're going to get with the food processor or with the Vitamixer blender. Thank you for the question. Okay, so this is tahini. Tahini is ground sesame. It has nothing else in it. So like any other product that has sesame, you should keep it in the refrigerator. When you do have it in the refrigerator, it's going to get really hard. So take a knife and chop down into the jar gently so you don't crack the jar, and spoon it up. All the oils will be at the top. You do want to mix that in before you measure for the tahini. Paper towel, hang on. The other thing about making your own hummus, I've seen recipes that use sesame oil. If you want a bigger flavor of sesame in your hummus, you could put a drop or two of our Japanese roasted sesame oil. It is intensely sesame, so a drop or two will be enough. I tend to shy away from the recipes that use sesame oil instead of tahini, because with the olive oil and everything, it just becomes a little oily for me. This is nice, smooth, velvety, like I said. We have everything in there. I'm going to start with a pulse. No, I'm going to plug it in first. So that I get it started. I don't want those garbanzo beans to stick to the sides. And now I'm going to go high. As I look inside, if it's not totally smooth, I'm going to go a little longer. Give it a nice couple minutes. With a Vitamix and a blender, you may want to stop. Let me turn this off for a second. You may want to stop and use a spatula and just spoon it up and around, just to make sure you keep moving it. When you do that, make sure you unplug it, just in case. Okay, a couple more minutes here and we'll be ready. Done. How about that? Amazing. So, what am I going to use this hummus for? So many things. First, I'm going to put in a bowl. This is a great time to grab that beautiful, usable artwork. That's what I love about this. We have 2 powders that we work with. This actually did come from our store. Absolutely amazing pottery, and it's usable pottery. You can put in the dishwasher, you can put it in the microwave, you can put it in the oven. I love that because it becomes a nice little feature on the table. We have lots of new products coming in at the Olive Scene for the spring and summer. In fact, we are going to be featuring for spring and summer charcuterie. So we went out and found some really unique, fun products, both food products and serving pieces for that. So, a couple different ways to serve it just straight on as hummus. This will thicken up. I would always put it in the refrigerator for about half an hour or so. And it will thicken up. It is nice and smooth. You can serve it cold. You can warm it up, saute up some onions, peppers, or charred tomatoes, put that on top, and serve it with some quinoa or some other things, or just a side salad, and make it a meal. You know, pita chips or flatbreads are all great with it. You can also do, I did a little crostini here. You can see some veggies, crudité, that's very typical. Some crackers, but there's some other great things you can do with hummus. So you can take it and crust chicken breast and bake it. Absolutely fabulous. You can mix it in with some feta cheese and ground beef and make hamburgers. Everybody loves avocado toast. We'll put some hummus on there first. It's also lovely. There's so many things you can do with hummus. And it gives just that great, great flavor to it. one of the things I love to do is to just top it with another little bit of fresh pressed extra virgin olive oil. And this is Frantoio Lucchino. If you haven't been to the store, hurry, 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 because we have no more. Everything we have is in the store right now, can't get any more. This oil is in its prime. It was a silver award winner at one of the biggest olive oil competitions. We have another one, Cortina, that was the gold medal winner at another competition. Those two are going to be gone soon, and we hate to see them go. We know great olive oils are coming, but get in and taste it and try it. And this is a great way to highlight a pure extra virgin olive oil and really enjoy it. So I like to serve it this way, or the other thing I like to do is to top it with some roasted red peppers. Now, if you wanted to make roasted red pepper hummus, you could actually toss these right in with the garbanzo beans. I would cut down on the water a little bit and then just add the water as you go, so it's that nice velvety. But this makes for a nice, wonderful dish. Charred tomatoes, any roasted vegetables on top of it. It actually becomes a really nice lunch. So here's my little quick charcuterie. Becky and I are going to enjoy that. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, again, email us or message us on Facebook and come into the store. We're always ready and willing to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for joining me.